Hey everybody, Scout Crafter here again. It's Monday, Mishmash Monday, and it's a beautiful day, nice breeze. Let's go in the backyard, see if we can't pull out an old peach tree. Okay, here's the tree in question, and you could say I cut it down because it was growing over my neighbor's garage, his roof, and it was just, so it had to go. Along with that one over there, I had to cut down the same thing. It was going over his roof. This one here is going over my roof, so I don't mind, but so this one's got to come out. And whenever you cut a tree down, always try and leave a little bit of trunk so you can grip it, you know, with some kind of strapping or something. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take those rocks away from the bottom, bring up the truck and see if we can't pull it out just as is. It's pretty solid in there, but maybe we could do it without digging around. Now here we're using a tool called the mutt, and what that is, it's basically a kind of a spade on it. It's a heavy duty spade on a stick, and what you do is you go around and just kind of sever some of the upper roots so that this will pull over easier. Okay, we're down around a few inches, especially around the back because you're going to be pulling this way. And I do have a little bit of movement, you know, but we're going to use the truck and we'll see if we can't pull this out. Okay, like we have the adventure wagon put right here in line with the tree. And we took out the cover, the protective cover for the trailer hitch, and we're going to put in this hook here. Now, if you look here, this hook says it's good for 10,000 pounds, which means that this hook will last long after that hitch is ripped out of the truck. Okay, you can see the hook up here. We have a chain because a chain doesn't really stretch and you have to worry about snapping, but over here, this type of link here will actually get tighter onto the trunk as it's pulled, and I say we should have zero problems pulling this little tree out with this monster truck. Okay, you can see the root ball here, and you can see some of those roots could have given you trouble, but this is a really easy way to do it, you know. Forget about breaking your back, you know. If you have a trailer hitch and a piece of chain and you leave a little bit of extra trunk, it makes it that much easier because you have that leverage to help you out. So this was a fun project. That was a lot of fun. Good way to start the show off. I always love it when a plan comes together. Next up, I want to talk a little bit about when obviously I was in Scouts, Boy Scouts, you know, where I get the name Scout Crafter from, but I had a lot of good memories when I went to Scouts. One of the memories that I used to have is when we used to go camping. You know, again, being a city boy and stuff, it was always fun to get out and go camping. We would go once a month, go out to a camping trip, and we'd go to Camp Alpine in New Jersey, or Camp Pouch in Staten Island, or out the island. It was so many camps around here, and they were beautiful. And when we would go to the camps, they had something called a trading post there. And it was always a great time because, you know, your mom and dad would give you like $5 or $10 to go when you go camping, just in case you want to buy something. And, you know, they might have had a soda machine there, or they might have had in the trading post, they might have had some ice cream that you could have bought, or they also had all kinds of cool scouting gear, everything that was pretty much in the Scout catalog, you know. If you needed, you would always pick up a patch. That was something, you know, if you collected, every time you went to a different camp, you picked up a different patch, and there was some beautiful patches that they had there, and they've become quite collectible. And the guys would have them all over the back of their jackets, and that's how you can tell the seasoned guys, the guys that's been around. They had patches all over their jackets, and it was a lot of fun. But I used to love to go into the PX and look at the gears. They had pocket knives, and they had flashlights, and all kinds of cool stuff that I always had to buy something, you know, a piece of gear to bring home. But that's what I wanted to show you next. Check out this cool piece of gear that I got. It was an eBay find. You don't find them too often in this condition. Let's check it out. Okay, this little gem of an item I picked up. Look at this in the original box. And again, we talk about how don't we enjoy things that came in boxes. And look over here. This was, and again, this is a late 50s, and they might have had some left over to the 60s, but This is a Boy Scout pocket light, and made in the USA. You can see here the number is 1284, and complete with 2 batteries. So let's check it out, what this has. And I remember these because this was kind of before my time in Scouts, yet I remember these when I used to go to the circus. We had Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. Do you remember that? And they always had these, and a lot of times at the circus, they came with a little tethered, like a plastic tethered loop that you could swing around, and all the kids would be swinging these in the circus. You can see here, it was made the Bantam Light Incorporated, New York City. Made in the USA. Pretty cool. And you remember how these worked? You would flip this up and it would light up. And I'll show you what this looks like under darker conditions, because it's so cool, because this whole top piece lights up. And it drew off surprisingly a good amount of light. You can put this in your backpack, and if you, especially, you know, you're camping, you flip this open, you can look in your pack to see what you need or whatever. So I always like these. And here it's the Boy Scout emblem on there. So nice little item, isn't it? Let me show you what it looks like in the dark. Okay, here we are in the center. I can't have it too dark because the film won't show up, but you'll get the idea now when I turn it on. And look at that, how cool that reddish glow is here around the side. This be great if you were hiking on a trail or something. That red glow would glow, and like I said, it throws off a nice piece of a bit of light here. You know what? In fact, let me go outside and show you what it would look like if you're using this in kind of camping conditions. I'm in the backyard here by a nice hydrangea I just bought, and here I clicked it on. You can see how nice it looks, but you can see the light it puts on. You could also see the hydrangea that I just bought, and what a beautiful color that is, huh? It's like a kind of a purple, and you know this changes color according to the soil. I might put this in a hole that we just pulled out that tree from. So, and of course the look at how nice the azalea is starting to come up. It's starting to bloom. And again, how cool is that light? I get so excited over something so simple, huh? Okay, next up we got a little bit of a tool we got to restore, a little socket driver here. But before I do, last video I had mentioned something about the price of fuel, which went up again in the last couple days over here, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that. A lot of people thought I was being political, so to speak, but let me tell you something. Being a good citizen, which everybody should be, you have to call your politicians accountable for their actions, regardless whether you voted for them or not, regardless of what party they are. If they do something, they work for us. That's the important thing. A lot of people, especially Americans, they get very comfortable and they say, let the other guy take care of it. You have to hold them accountable. Everybody, regardless of what office it is, or regardless of what state, you have to hold them accountable. And I would attribute that to an analogy of, let's say you were a boss and you owned a business, and somebody said that they applied for a job as a typist, and they said they type 60 words a minute, and then all of a sudden you hire him, and then you look over and the guy's looking at the keyboard and he's typing with 2 fingers, you know, and you say, what the heck? This guy said he can type 60 words a minute. So what are you going to do? You're going to sit there and say, well, you know, I'm going to pay him full salary and let him go, and maybe he'll get better. No, you say you lied on your application, you boot him out. You know, that's the beauty of the system we have. And that's why it's important that regardless, like I said, of who it is. So when something is not right, and you know it's not right, you got to, you know, the squeaky hinge gets the oil. So that's an important thing to remember. And there's one other thing I want to tell you. And an old timer told me this, and years ago when I was a young man, and this is really important, and I hope you remember this, but he told me years ago, fuel was going up like it is now, and he says, it'll get to a point when there'll become a shortage. And I said, what do you mean? What do you mean? He goes, you know, every time something goes up really quickly, and people start complaining, they have to create a shortage, because when there's a shortage, people stop complaining. They're just happy to get some. And you know something? He was so right. And think about, I want you to think about this now. as fuel will top $1 a gallon more than it was a couple months ago, you're going to start to see they're going to claim that there was a shortage. You remember in this, this is the beauty of history. History keeps repeating itself. And, the young people, if you're under 30 years old, you've never experienced this. But, us older guys, we did. They played this game with, it's always some kind of shortage. Either there's a war in the Middle East, which is creating a shortage, or there's a tanker that, whenever a tanker had an accident, there was a shortage and oil will go up. And so, it's going to happen. You watch, mark my words, remember, this is May. You're going to see within a couple of weeks or a month, maybe, you're going to see there's going to be something that happens, that this miraculous shortage, and they're doing it with everything now. All the things that they're trying to increase the price to make up for the loss from the COVID, they're creating shortages. There's so many quote unquote shortages, and some are blaming it on COVID, some are blaming it on a fire. Like they said, pool chlorine has gone through the roof because there was a fire in a plant. Come on, you mean to tell me there's only one plant that makes chlorine in the whole United States? Please. So keep that in mind. And okay, let's get to this tool. Now, one good thing is there's never a shortage on old tools, old rusty tools. You'll never have a shortage of them. There's millions of them out there, so we're safe. Okay, this is a cute little item. And what this is, and it's really well made, but not marked. And you can see here what it is. It's a nicely done, nicely threaded, and it's a socket driver, and it puts the sockets inside the handle. But the handle's hollow, which I find pretty amazing. But let's clean this up and take a good look at it, because it is a nice little unit. Now, one thing I love about knurling, that is when you hit it with the wire brush and you go along with the knurling pattern, it comes out like brand new every time. And we're calling this project done. This one here was just a quick cleanup, and you can see we brought it back to what it would look like from the factory, What's pretty interesting about this is it screams of quality, and it's nicely made, well threaded. And this here, you can see it's indented on both sides to retain the sockets, and I'll show you. I cleaned up all the sockets here, but watch what happens. Now, there's no ball detent, so to speak, when these go on, but when you push it on, the tolerances are so tight. There's no rattle, it don't come out, and yet there's no, like I said, no ball detent that holds it on. You have to kind of pull it to get it out. So pretty interesting. And all your sockets go in here. You can see here they fit nicely in here. And it comes with 5. I guess they were common sizes here. The last size that it comes with is actually the same size on both sides, And then this screws on really nicely, this cap. Listen to that, how that screws on. Hear that? Just a nicely made tool. I don't know who made it, but like I said, it screams of quality. And whenever you see something like this for a couple bucks, you have to pick it up. So there we have it, a quick Monday mosh. I hope you have a great start of the new week. Take care now. Have a good day. Bye-bye.